I'll say that again. Hello and good morning. Sorry, I'm late. It's just been one of those days trying to get everything up and ready. And apologies, we're here and let's do this. So this week's field focus is all about the power of blogging. I'm sure it's about the power of blogging. Blogging is such a vital aspect of becoming an author. In blogging, you get to show your thought leadership, you get to show your expertise, you can build credibility and authority, you can speak about many topics. Obviously, you want to speak about your book, the content of the book, your author's journey, your expertise, anything that's going to position you as that go-to expert. All those wonderful things that amplifies your voice, all those things that ascends your authority in the field, whether that is local, national, and international. So let's see. I'm going to share with you what we have, and let's begin. So, blogging to bestseller. Now, out there in the world, there are books that have been created through bloggers. People maybe have blogged for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and it's so important then that you have all these blogs stored and archived, and you can repurpose them. You can repurpose a blog, and you can do so much from that blog. But the most important thing is you own the blog. So you want to put it on a platform that you also own. So hence, your author website should always have a blog on it, and you build up that expertise and bringing people to the blog, and also include call to action. So let's see what we're saying about it today. So what we're talking about. So it's the power of it, extremely powerful, as I've already explained. We can look at it to explore further the book topic. I've already hinted at you can use all your blogs, and create a book. There are many books out there based on blogs, and you can carefully curate them and put them in a way that they create a flow, just like a book does with its chapters. So that's very easy to do, and is transition strategies. And one of the things, if you've been blogging for a long time, you can use your blogs to create an ebook that is a taster of your actual definitive book. Blogging, remember, blogging is a conversation. So they're short. They should be between 200, 400 words. They shouldn't be so long. So no more than a couple of pages. And so it keeps people little bite size. They can go away, they can take action, they can think about it, you can change people's mindset, you can inspire them to do something more within their life, whether it's maybe they take up journaling, for example, or maybe they have to create better habits. Maybe it's about morning routines. Maybe it's about changing how they think about themselves and go from just being a follower to a leader, all of these things. And of course, blogging can help the writing and structuring of your book. You can give people insight and little tidbits about what's coming up within your book, so that you whet their appetite so that they want to buy the book and they become part of your pre-sale, they become part of your fans, all of those amazing things. And of course, editing and polishing. Any piece of writing should always be edited. And what options you've got for publishing, and then looking at marketing your book. And of course, the usual Q&A. So here we are, sitting in your kitchen like a lot of us do. And I'm lucky I have an office, but a lot of businesses have been started with kitchen tables. In fact, there is a business called The Kitchen Table. They kept that, and look them up and see how they started and where they are now. And so the power of blogging. The reason we want to get into blogging is you can begin to build that audience for your book. So it's one way, it's one part of the funnel road into accessing your thoughts, what you believe in, what you don't. And actually this sets you up and starts to develop what's your philosophy in life. You can test your ideas, you can write a blog, always create, you know, a response where people can write their comments, and it doesn't need to be perfect. You can send a blog and say, what do you think of this idea, and get feedback. And if you get lots of really high positive feedback, you can think, okay, that needs to go in the book. So you can use your blogging as you journey towards writing and launching your book, and using blog to continue to nurture your fans, followers, and increase them. And of course, as I said, as always, it's about your authority. If you're an expert, you're working away, you have clients, and this is an area that you are passionate about, then you want to establish that authority. So, choosing your book topic. So you identify your niche. So a lot of people come to us with that, you know, they know the topic for the book because they've worked in that field, but they've maybe they don't have the same clarity around who that niche is. Some people do, some people don't, but that's okay because we work on it from the brand point of view. Where do we begin? We always begin with brand. So this will come out, but yeah, so let's take marketing as a topic. There are many marketeers out there, but what makes you unique? What's your philosophy? What makes you different? What is that distinction in what you do compared to all the other marketers out there? So one of the things you can explore through blogging is your unique angle, and start voicing that and becoming known for that. And let's make sure when you blog, you're speaking from your heart, not your head, but your heart. If you can actually communicate from heart and soul, those words will be high vibrational on that page. They will jump out and stand out. So we need to align the blog's content with what you're doing. And here's another thing. Those of us that have got shiny object syndrome, a blog's one way to keep coming back to who you are and what you're doing. So of course, let's look at going from your blog to your book, but we're also talking about book to blog. So we're actually kind of doing we're on a lovely figure of 8. We're on infinity, blog to book, book to blog, blog to book, book to blog, whatever way. And I would suggest we start thinking about using blogs as ebooks as a lead generation. It's something that you can do. Once the book's going, you can talk about we give away a free chapter, as again, it's the breadcrumbs into it. But if you can give away something, it's a whole. So that's why it's important to write the blogs as you're going along. Even like, so say for example, that this girl here, this woman in this picture, she might be having writer's block. She's deep in thought. She's got a notebook, writing down ideas. She's got her laptop opened, and you know, she's well, what do you take from that? Is she stuck, or is she just deep in thought? So you could write a blog about as an author, writer's block is, let's flip writer's block. It's just another way of thinking deeply, or not thinking at all, or overwhelmed. So you can write a quick blog on that. So we repurpose versus expanding. Oh, that's a very good thought as well. Are you taking an idea and repurposing it, or do you use your blog to go a little bit deeper? Do we deepen a thought, or do we do we repurpose the thought? Do we talk about, let's talk about something to do with social media. How do you repurpose that? Well, you might have done a blog on, let's say, consistency and visibility on social media, but you can repurpose that blog into a video. Now, if you do a video first, there's so many software out there. So we use Magic. I do, so all of this, what I'm doing now, my VA puts it into Magic, and I get blogs and social media posts and so much content that I could run it for a month, just from a video. So do you start with vlogging to turn it into a blog? It becomes a bit of a minefield. But let's look at repurposing and expanding. Now, although I'm saying it's a minefield, you need to decide what it is you like. And once you are doing what you love and you keep to that, you create that clarity. So it's everything in the beginning, when you like brainstorm, mind map, all of these things, you've got so many ideas, but eventually you need to get rid of some and you're left with the creme de la creme. So you want to think about, well, if I asked you to go back over the last 6 months and find all the blogs you've written, you could then start to organize those blogs and create further posts from them. You could organize them, say which ones are related to my book, which ones could I put together and create an ebook. You can create your author's journey, the author's adventure through blogging, and then at the end, you could put that, you could call that something like the meandering road of the author's journey, or something like that. The undulating twists and turns of the author's journey, and then you could write that, and people will get to know you, and it's very good. And of course, when you get all those blogs and you pull them together, you can go, oh, look, I could write a book about this. And then what happens is you're taking that repurposing, but for a book, it's expand and deepen, expand and deepen. That's the difference between blogging and writing a book. A book should always go deeper into your philosophy, your processes, etc. So let's look at writing tips and techniques. So, and crafting engaging chapters. Let's talk about two of them together. So, writing tips and techniques. So we've got things like using the rule of 3. That's like saying, so I talk about Brenda Dempsey, publisher, a master coach, speaker, rule of 3, 3 things. So when you're talking about, so I often say leadership, you need to have resilience, vision, and tenacity. So we use the rule of 3. That is very powerful for the human brain. It might be, look at your sentence length. Have I got 3 short minor sentences? Again, using the rule of 3. And so minor sentences could be 1 to 3, 4 word sentences, like, watch out, take care, stop, builds tension. And it's a writing technique that's used in fiction, but by goodness, you can use it in your non-fiction. All these writing techniques are interchangeable. Craft and engaging chapters. The best way to craft engaging chapters is use of subheadings. Why? Because you can have, I got a book a number of years ago. It was something to do with success. And I loved the way that book was structured, because I could sit down with my cup of tea at 10:30, 11 o'clock, and I could say, right, I looked at the content page, right, where am I stuck? Where am I stuck? And it might be consistency, for example. I'm not consistent. I might think I'm consistent, but the reality is I'm not as consistent as I could be. So I open the content book and I see chapter 5, consistency, and then if you break down that chapter, so it might be about visibility or something, or attracting more clients. Everything is about consistency. So I can see in chapter 5, that aspect is covered. I can go to chapter 5, and with the subheadings, I can go to the exact spot and read it, think about it, chew it over, and then what call to action has been said in that book? What can I, after my cup of tea, go away and do? What is it that I need to do? Maybe it's that I need to go and find a scheduler. Maybe it's I need to go and write a 5-day cycle. Maybe it's I need to go and write a 30-day plan. Whatever it is. Because reading a book is okay, reasonably powerful. But if you don't do anything about what you read, then, you know, it's all the books on the shelves, and what's the point? Even if you're reading fiction, you the consistency of reading, keeping in the story, keeps you coming back for more. It becomes like a bit of a box set, isn't it? And there we go. The word that I've been talking about, it maintains your consistency. So if you've got a chapter heading, you start with a quote, and then you've got 6 subheadings. Every chapter is going to be the start with a quote, 6 subheadings. You might do 5 because you've got to keep the reader on their toes. So you have consistency, but you want little heart blips, you know, like you're going along, you're in a relationship, you're in love, and every so often you get a little flutter because the person you're in love with just does something a wee bit unexpected, or maybe a wee bit out of character, in a good way, of course, and that just keeps you going. So you want those little flutterings. And of course, we always have to edit and polishing. So self-edit is important. I would say do 2 to 3 edits yourself. So that's a case of rereading it, reread it aloud. Does it make sense? So this is something I used to teach when I GCSE and A-level in English. I would get the clients, not the clients, sorry, students, and a lot of them had special needs, so they had issues with that processing, sometimes the dyslexia. So one of the greatest ways to understand, and I do it myself, is I write a sentence and then I read it. Does it make sense? Does it flow? So I read it to see if it makes sense and flow. Then I go back in and I read it again, and I think, how did I start that sentence? Was it impactful? Was it engaging? Are all my sentences starting similar way? Have I got variation? Then I might look at, on the third edit, I might look at it like, let me look at the words. So I might look at the word and I'm going, oh, I'm overusing consistency. So let's get the thesaurus out. What else can I say instead of consistent? What word has got a high energy? What word could I use that, you know, I ran across the road? You know, come on. That's not, you know, I ran across the road. But if I say I dashed across the road, you know, it's got a different energy. I sprinted across the road. I limped across the road. It tells me a lot more. Well, why are you limping? Do you have you had an accident, or have you got something that you have to live with? You know, so the words that you're putting down, you need to question them. You need to read them for a flow edit. Look at the types of sentences, and then look at the quality of the words. And then when you've done at least 3 edits on your book, you're not an editor, you're writing, it must go to a professional editor. That's why Brilliance Publishing, we only have the best editors. Proofreading and grammar. So a lot of people get kind of a bit mixed up with the role of an editor and a proofreader. The same person can't do the same job, because you get things like word blind, and we read words that are not there. We miss out words that are there. All sorts of things. How do I know that? Because I used to assess reading and how the brain works, and how we deal with our reading. We can all read the same book, and what I tell you, we'll come away with something different because we bring to our own experiences. So therefore, it'll have a different meaning. So proofreading, we'll look at the grammar, the full stops, the spacing. It'll look at proofreading takes quite a long time because you're not just reading the book, you literally read every single word like that. So proofreading and grammar. So I would look at the word proofreading. A lot of people hyphenate it, people make it two words, but actually proofreading is one word. The space between proofreading and is only one space, because sometimes you get an extra little space, or you might get a space between a comma. And should it have a capital letter? Should it not have a capital letter? Is it spelled correctly? So we can use some software and AI, but equally the last call is always a human. And of course, you can have beta readers and feedback. So Julie Lewis has got a whole host of beta readers, took them on a boat. She lives in Dubai, so it's quite easy to get boats, sunshine. And she had a 2-3 hour meeting with a group of beta readers. It might be about 12 or 14 or something like that. And they all read the book, gave her feedback, and she was able to improve her book based on that feedback from readers. I've got another client just now. She's putting together her list of beta readers. We've gone from 20 out to 30. So beta readers is absolutely something that's critical to do. Just they never get a polished book. They're not reading the polished, finished book. They get that as a thank you. But beta readers are important, and always get feedback. So options, traditional versus self-publishing versus hybrid. I talk about this all the time. Let's break it down into something really short. Traditional is Penguin, HarperCollins. You go, you sell your book. Listen to the language. You sell your book. You sell your rights. You sell your soul. They buy it. It could be £2,000. It could be £20,000, £200,000. Who do you need to be to get the big bucks? You need to be somebody. And that is something that a lot of new writers have to consider. Who are you? Yes, we're all important in our own wee world, but when we become a commercial entity, who are we? So therefore, sometimes it's you need reality. It's a hard message to hear. Well, in the terms of being able to sell a book, if you're not a household name, you're a nobody. So what does that mean? You have to be visible. You have to be consistent. You have to build those relationships. You have to build from the bottom up. So traditional publishers will be looking for people who are able to sell not just a few hundred books, but thousands of books. They're taking the risk. They've got to make their money. But not all traditional publishing deals, the traditional publisher will know they're not making money from them, but that's okay. They're looking to break even at least, you know. They make money from a half dozen authors on their books, the top drawer ones, you know, like J.K. Rowling's, you know, the Dan Browns, Stephen King's, these great people who sell millions of books. Self-publishing, well, here's a kit. Go and build yourself a Bentley. Good luck. Oh, that's the traditional. Or here's go and build yourself a Mercedes, or whatever. So you don't know the quality of the people you're going to get to help you. They might be recommended, but actually, we've seen many self-published books. They've got great potential, but they flop because the quality of the layout, the editing. You need to make sure you're engaging someone. So if you're only paying a couple of £100 for someone to edit your book, you're not getting quality. So it's like going in, I've got £10,000 and I want a Bentley. Sorry, you can't get a Bentley for £10,000. So horses for courses, you get what you pay for, all of that. But there is a place for self-publishing. So I'm not decrying it. There is a place for it. You need to know what that place is, and you need to know that that is the right route for you. And then you've got hybrid publishing, which is Book Brilliance Publishing. So you get the quality of traditional and the flexibility of self-publishing. It's just like self-publishing. With a hybrid, you own 100% copyright of your book. You have a say. It's a collaborative process versus traditional, which is very little collaboration. So what is the right route for you? So we have the traffic light system, where we explain which each one is and the pros and cons of everything. Then, of course, hey, writing a book. Sometimes you think, oh, it's really hard to write a book. And it is. It's a challenge. Only 3% of people who start out writing a book actually finish writing the book, particularly in the business world. So marketing your book is as critical, if not more, than actually getting the book written. There's been books that, let's take 50 Shades of Grey, not the best written book in the world, but made millions. Why? Marketing. Marketing. So lots of people, including myself, I bought the book to find out what the hype is. Have I read it? No. I haven't read it. I was curious. I still haven't got around to reading it. There you go. What does that say? So you need to have a launch plan. So once you've got that book written and it's all in the machinery of getting edited and looking at design and everything, we also need to be starting to think about the launch plan and building that months out, because it's like anything else. It's an event. You've got to build it up. You just think of movies, James Bond movie. They talk about a James Bond movie a year out. Traditional publishers, they will talk about a new book coming out again 6-9 months, sometimes even a year out for a book as well. All these media type elements like film and book and music and plays, they have months of this is coming, and they have interviews and the magazine articles and social media. So you need to build that launch plan so you know what you're doing. And of course, here at Book Brilliance, do you know what? We do it with you. You need to leverage your blog audience. Get the blog audience to be beta readers. Put all the people who come to your blog, create that group and drive all these fans and all these people interested in your topic into a group so you can have those discussions with them. Make them your best friend. And of course, social media, you need to outline that marketing. So you need a marketing strategy, marketing campaigns. And the great thing is, with BBP and a hybrid, you've got someone helping you with that, not trying to hand it over to somebody and not knowing what you've done. And you can pay a lot of money. I paid £1,000 just to get a plan, just for somebody to write me a plan. £1,000. That's not the marketing, the ads, and all the other stuff included. You know, so in the beginning, marketing is like I can't afford to pay for marketing. So I'm telling you, this is my story. Can't afford to pay for marketing. So I'll go and learn a bit about marketing and I'll do marketing. Yeah, I'm doing marketing, but what are the results? Now, here's a caveat. Not all marketing gets the results that you want, but it'll get you some kind of results. There'll be some learning, but it's like everything else. People go to uni and study marketing for 3-4 years. They do masters in marketing. If it was that easy, you know, we wouldn't need to go and get a degree in it. We would all be millionaires through our marketing efforts. But there's a lot more to marketing than we realise. So again, it's those deep foundations. And hey-ho, great, because we work in brand, it makes marketing easier. Because we've got a book, it makes marketing easier. But it's being able, why people don't succeed in marketing is they don't talk to the right audience. And when you do the work that you have to do, then you get that audience. So who's my blogging audience? How do I market to the blogging audience? Whether the people who read my blogs, whether they're hanging out. There's all these questions. These are fundamental. And if you don't take time out, you can let 5, 6, 7, 8 months go. Whereas if you did one 10-minute activity every single day, compounded over, let's just go 6 months, that is a mountain you've climbed. Whereas if you're sporadic and you're not focused and you don't do it from a strategic point of view, then that's why success is low. So, any questions about using your blog to write your book and write your book and blogging? It's an infinity. It's an 8. You do both. You do absolutely both. So any questions, put them in below this and I'll get back to you and I'll answer them, and put your questions in. Want to share anything about marketing, any marketing tips? What have you done that's worked? Why did it work? What was the reason behind that? And just to let you know, I'm going to interview Julie Lewis on her marketing. She has been ace, and what's been happening to her is phenomenal out in Dubai. So let's get real people who are doing all these things that we're talking about and ask them what results they're getting. So everything takes time, effort, energy, and sometimes you need to put money into it. Marketing, so Apple, they spend millions on marketing and PR a year. We've grown in what we spend year on in marketing. I've just signed up again, marketing, to take our business to the next level. And that's what you do is you scale. You start somewhere. So you usually start with zilch and you learn what works, what doesn't work. You watch other people, you read books, you go in, you listen to webinars, you do all sorts of things and you try it. I have engaged in quite a number of marketing programs over the year. Some of them haven't worked. But the truth be known, why haven't they worked? It's not because what they were teaching wasn't right. It's because I didn't commit. So it's like your book. You want your book to be successful, you want to be a successful blogger, you have to commit to it, which means consistency, doing it no matter what, no matter the outcome. The outcome in the beginning is not important. It's building the credibility, the authority. That's what's important. So sometimes it's like my social media posts, even today, some are great and they get hundreds and comments and likes and impressions, and then others get like barely 20. What's that all about? There you go. So it's always about refining, reflecting, and making adjustments. So until next time, this is Brenda saying, be brilliant, keep blogging. Much love. Where are you blogging? And until the next time, to the bit. And I should have said that in full screen rather than on that. Oh, there you go. You can see it's live and my brain's thinking of other things. So until next time, as Brenda saying, bye.